Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So, we have nicely seen for the model for Romeo and Juliet how things exponential growth because of positive feedback system, both like each other and they reinforce of each other's behavior. If one partner loves the other more, then other person reciprocates the love. So, we model that, but still we found that some initial settings resulted in asymptotic behavior. Okay. Now, let us take up another setting. Love-hate relationship, things are not as it seems. Perhaps when the boy is disinterested, doesn't know, doesn't pay attention, maybe she loves her, she loves him. When the boy starts to reciprocate his love, she starts to spurn him or doesn't like him, and the same way, more she spurns, he loves her more, but then when she starts to reciprocate her love, he walks away. It's all very complicated. So, right. So, let us call them Julian and Claire after the protagonist from The Red and the Black by Stendhal. It is a actually French book translated in English and setting of many Hollywood movies or Bollywood, any language movies. So, let us take this scenario. Claire is attracted to Julian when he shows no interest in her. When Julian begins to love her, he becomes pathetic in her eyes and develops disgust for him. Julian is likewise attracted to Claire only if she gives him a cold shoulder, then she becomes a prize for his honor mandates that he catch. What will happen when these two characters meet? So, how do we model this? Similarly, we will define stock of love for each other, and we will see if we can just capture the personalities using the parameter settings. So, Julian Claire model will look very similar to Romeo and Juliet. Now, let us observe, see the stock values and the flow equations does not change. Initial love, we can, as we told, we can set some values. Let us try to capture their personalities by using the terms on Julian's reaction and Claire's reaction. In Julian's reaction is opposite of what Claire demonstrates. If Claire dislikes him, he likes her. If Claire likes him, he dislikes her, right. So, it is in opposite direction. So, let us put Julian's reaction as -1. Now, looking to Claire's reaction, if Julian likes her, then she is annoyed, so she dislikes him. If Julian ignores her, then she likes him. So, it is also in the opposite direction. So, let us put Claire's reaction as -1. So, I am just going to put Julian's reaction as -1, Claire's reaction as -1, because both Julian's reaction to Claire's love and Claire's reaction to Julian's love are negative. And every unit of love that Julian displays to Claire decreases Claire's love for Julian by 1 unit and vice versa. Okay. Now, let us go ahead and try to simulate this. Let us assume the initial love of Julian, initial love of Claire is 1, that is they both meet each other, but instantly they like each other. But let us see what happens to their relationship based on their personalities, right. If both love each other, what do we expect? Both will start to push each other away, right. Julian initially likes Claire, but Claire dislikes him. Let Julian's love be +1 love unit and Claire's love be -1 love unit. He likes her, she does not like him. Let us see where it goes. Okay. You are also going to get an exponential behavior. The green one is Julian's love for Claire and red one is Claire's love for Julian. As you can see, more Claire dislikes Julian, Julian's love is going to keep increasing, and as Julian's love keeps increasing, Claire's love or order dislike for him increases, and again we are getting exponential behavior. So if we trace the loops, so you will see that it is actually a positive feedback loop. So say Claire's love increases for Claire, Julian's love for Claire increases, suppose. Then Claire starts to dislike him. As more Claire dislikes, the more Julian is going to love her. So it becomes a positive feedback system because there are two negatives. There are two negatives in the loop which resulted in a positive feedback system, which is caused this behavior. I think there are quite a few movie plot lines based on this. Maybe I don't know if I am pronouncing Hindi correctly. Ranjana, similar plot line, right? He loves her, she doesn't like him, she goes to kill him, etc., etc. All the things happen because a dislike for him keeps growing. So let's try out other such fun things. Suppose initially Julian loves Claire little more than Claire loves Julian. Both love each other, but let us assume Julian initially feels +1 love unit, while Claire only feels 0.9 love units. She likes him 10% less than he likes her. What do you expect will happen? Let's see what happens. Actually, we got a surprising the same behavior that is happening, right? But it is not always so. We need to zoom into period 0, 1, 2. So I can't do it here. Let me just. So we told initial love for Julian for Claire is 1. Initial love of Claire for Julian is 0.9. Julian's reaction, Claire's reaction is -1. Let us simulate it. This graph here shows again exponential behavior, which is fine. But I told we need to zoom into period 0 and 2. Already zoomed graph I have. Actually, if you zoom in, you get some interesting crazy dynamics. The initial 4 periods. So the red one is Claire's love for Julian, and blue is Julian's love for Claire. So as Claire finds out that Julian loves him, her love decreases, and as her love decreases, his love also decreases slightly, right? Because when she loves him, he starts to dislike her a bit. So her love, since it's positive, he also likes her lesser. But at around period 1.4, around here, her love actually becomes dislike. From positive it goes to negative, starts to dislike. As soon as she starts disliking him, his love starts to grow exponentially. So the change in loop dominance is what you just saw here, but it is at such a small time scale you may not have realized it. So you just saw that. That is an interesting dynamics which happened, but still positive and negative feedback loops is what was kept dominating within the system. Now suppose both Julian and Claire initially like each other, both feel +1 love units towards each other, then what will happen? Oscillations, no oscillations. She both like each other, so then so since they both like each other, they are going to like each other even less as time goes on, and we are going to get a goal seeking behavior to a point of kind of indifference within this model, where because each are going to like each other even lesser and lesser as time goes on, and we will have exponential. Since the first order system, we are getting a, or rather it is a positive feedback system, but in this special case it is showing asymptotic behavior. We can expect similar behavior when say both Claire and Julian dislike each other initially. When they dislike each other, their dislike reduces with time, and they result in again a point of indifference, and eventually suppose Julian and Claire were initially indifferent to each other, that both felt 0 love units, that means the stock initially 0, so there is no dynamics that can be observed within the system, right. So though the personalities are opposite, when they like, when one person, when the partner likes, when one person likes, the partner doesn't like them. When the partner likes, the other person doesn't like them. Even then the system becomes a positive feedback system where one's love is going to grow exponentially and others dislike is going to grow exponentially. There's a dynamics that we just saw. The personalities doesn't end there, we have many other personalities also. We will take up one more scenario based on Gone with the Wind. I don't know how many saw the movie or read the book or read some synopsis or some adaptation of it in some version somewhere. So when he is initially not interested in her, she loves him, and when he reciprocates the love, she starts to spurn him. But then when she loves him is when he loves her. He likes his love to be reciprocated, and when she spurns him, then he also wants to walk away. He doesn't want to hang around, right? So let's call them Scarlet and Rhett. When Rhett is indifferent to Scarlet, she is attracted to him. When Rhett is attracted to her, she scorns him. Rhett, however, becomes frustrated when Scarlet treats him with contempt. He is attracted to her when she is attracted to him, but he loses interest when she snubs him. What will happen when these two meet? Yeah. So our model setting is going to be similar. We are going to have exact same model setting, same stock of love. So Rhett's love for Scarlet and Scarlet's love for Rhett, and we are going to use the parameters. How can we set the parameters for, say, Rhett's reaction? How will Rhett's reaction be? So Scarlet loves him, Rhett's is more attracted to her, right? So it is in the same direction. So Rhett's reaction is +1, positive. But when Rhett loves Scarlet, then Scarlet's reaction is to scorn him. It is in opposite direction. So it is in, we can model it as -1, let us say. Scarlet's reaction is -1. So Rhett's reaction, Scarlet's love is positive, and Scarlet's reaction, Rhett's love is the negative, opposite direction. Now, let us suppose initially Scarlet and Rhett feel 1 unit of love for each other, that is, they are initially attracted to each other. Then what kind of dynamics can we expect? So what feedback loop do we have? The previous two cases were positive feedback systems. What feedback system is this? It's a negative feedback system, right? Then what kind of dynamics can we expect? What you are going to get is system is going to oscillate. If you have seen the movie, this is the plot line. So both love each other, but as Scarlet is going to dislike him as he loves her, but as long as love is somewhat positive, his love increases. But then when she starts to actively scorn him and dislike him, his love falls, continues to fall, and then he starts to ignore her, and when he starts ignoring her, her dislike reduces, and then slowly again she falls back in love with him. Once he starts loving him, he also reciprocates the love, and the game continues. So you get a nice oscillating systems of love for each other, Rhett's love for Scarlet and Scarlet's love for Rhett, the red and green lines. This is because we are having a negative feedback within the system. So as Rhett's love increases, then Scarlet dislikes him. As Scarlet dislikes him, his love reduces. So the direction of change is negative. So it's a negative feedback system is what we have just observed, which is causing an oscillations. That's a first order negative feedback system. Again, we can have some interesting settings. Suppose initially Rhett's love for Scarlet, but Scarlet is indifferent to Rhett. That is, Scarlet initial value is 0, where Rhett's initial value is 1. So she doesn't dislike him or like him. So since she, and then he loves her, so immediately we can expect that Scarlet will start to dislike him. and as soon as she starts disliking, Reth's love is going to fall. But we can expect a similar oscillating systems. So instead of initial increase in love for Reth, it will start to fall as Scarlett's dislike for him increases and system oscillates. Initially Reth likes Scarlett, but Scarlett actively dislikes Reth. They are on the opposite sides, right? As Scarlett actively dislikes Reth, Reth's love has to fall. And as initially Reth likes Scarlett, then she should actively dislike him more, which is what happens. Initially, since he likes her, she likes him even less. Again, system will oscillate because of this second order negative feedback system that is present in our model. Suppose they are indifferent to each other, what can we expect? Will system oscillate? No, because stocks are 0, so you do not expect it to oscillate. So that is what you get, system does not oscillate. I think I have effectively ruined the books for you. So that is the conclusion. These are 3 scenarios: Romeo Juliet, Julian Claire, and Scarlett Reth. But interesting is all had the same generic structure, and this is called a second order system that we have. We had a stock, 2 stocks, each independently changing, but the change in stock 2 is affected by stock 1, and change in stock 1 is affected by stock 2. This is generic structure. This is a generic structure for actually any system which is going to exhibit a sustained oscillation. This is a generic structure. When you have this generic structure, it is going to cause sustained oscillation. But what else is needed to ensure sustained oscillation? We need negative feedbacks. So second order system with negative feedbacks is the only thing that is going to cause oscillations. So oscillations are a feature for this negative feedback loops in higher order, 2 stocks or more systems, similar to the Gone with the Wind model. So you have multiple stocks with negative feedbacks, that is when you are going to see oscillation within the system. Even if you have 2 stocks but the positive feedback system, no set of initial conditions can make them oscillate. So Romeo and Juliet and Claire and Julian Claire model are driven by positive feedback loops. So they are going to generate exponential behavior. In some exceptional cases, it does produce asymptotic behavior. So for us to get sustained oscillations, we need a second order negative feedback system, is what is going to cause it. So there is a learning in this class. So I suggest you think of this typical movie plot line and see how we can model it. Boy meets girl, he likes her on first sight but she dislikes him. He woos her but her dislike towards him grows. Then suddenly she starts to reciprocate his love. As of now, we can't change anything in the parameter setting to model this. There is a nonlinear shift in feelings for each other, their reactions. Try to model this, how we are going to do it, what kind of stocks, is the reaction even governed by the others, the response or not, and see how it works. So some more descriptions of that is also available online. Thank you.